Hello friends, welcome back. This is lesson 2 in our comprehensive prompt engineering course. Today we're going to be focusing on iterative prompting, which is how to refine your AI instructions. So today we're taking it a step further by talking about iterative prompting. If you ever typed out a question or instruction to an AI and got a so-so answer, you'll want to watch this video. Iterative prompting is a method for turning a mediocre AI response into an outstanding one. So firstly, what is iterative prompting? Iterative prompting, of course, will start with an initial prompt. It can be likened to like a draft, a very basic version of what you want to achieve, your request, your question. Then we review the AI's response, we evaluate what we like and what we don't like so much, and then we revise the prompt. So we adjust the prompt based on what is missing, unclear or off target, and then we essentially repeat this process or these iterations. So each prompt that we type in, when we do this process and we revise the prompt, that is known as one iteration. So the second time we say, okay, ChatGPT, LLM, make this change. I like this, but I don't like this. Make this change. That will be known as the second iteration, and we can have as many iterations as needed until we get the perfect prompt. So an analogy here is, imagine you're sculpting a block of marble. Your first few hammer hits shape a rough outline, but you keep chiseling details, smoothing out the edges and making adjustments until you have your masterpiece. That's exactly what we're doing with prompts. We chisel away at imprecise instructions until our output is spot on. So why does iteration matter? Well, firstly, efficiency. While it might seem like more work to refine prompts multiple times, in the long run, it often saves time. A single perfect prompt can be reused or adapted for future tasks. Clarity. Each iteration focuses you to re-examine your request and consider whether you're being explicit enough about what you actually want. And lastly, discovering AI's strengths and limitations. Sometimes you'll realize certain tasks or phrasings are leading the AI to unexpected behavior. Iterations help you learn what works and what doesn't. So now we're going to look at a real-world example about writing a blog post about remote work. And so I've got two examples of prompts here, and we're going to take the first one about writing a blog about remote work. So we're going to head over to ChatGPT. This is a random blog post that I had about a dog and his why he's man's best friend. But we're just going to say, oh, that's going to be our next prompt. So we're just going to say, write me a blog post and see what it gives us. No, about remote work. My apologies. What was asking? So we're just going to say remote work. And off it goes. The future of remote work, is it here to stay? Remote work has transformed from a niche perk to a global norm. Once seen as a temporary solution during the pandemic, working from home has now become a preferred way of life for millions. But is remote work truly the future, or will companies eventually pull employees back to the office? And you can see the rise of remote work, and it's given something not so bad here. And just to note, sometimes when writing into ChatGPT about a blog post in the format of a blog post, it may give to you an answer which is in like a canvas. Let me see if I can do an example. Yeah, open canvas. So it may give to you an example like this. And the only problem with this is when you go to make a change and say, hang on a minute. Yeah, so when you go to make a change, when your answer is given in a canvas, it will overwrite what you have previously written. So you can no longer compare the two iterations. So that's just something to bear in mind. Let's see if I can give you an example. Let's say, please write this with the audience as 10-year-old children. And you can see here it's saying, what is remote work? A fun guide for kids. Ever seen your parents working on a laptop home and wondered blah 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 why they aren't going into the office? Yeah, so you can see now it's completely changed. But the only problem with this is if we X out at the top, we can see, oh, perhaps not. Okay, well, sometimes it will not generate the answer like this, but it will generate the answer in the canvas. But it seems like it's doing that for the blog post about dogs. But sometimes if you're getting the answer in the canvas, then I just wanted to show you how to. Let's do a new chat. So write me a blog post about remote work. Here we are. So you can see it's written the answer in the canvas, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to say tailor this with the audience being 11-year-old kids. And you can see it's editing the answer, and it's overwritten what we had previously had. So if I go ahead and X this out, you can see perhaps they've updated it. Remote work blog. Imagine waking up, grabbing your favourite snack. No, yeah, it seems like it's overwritten it. Microphone is great, yeah. Yeah, so when you write in the canvas, it does overwrite what you have previously written. And so if you want to avoid this so that you can see each iteration, what you need to do is just click this here, answer in the chat instead. And so it's going to come out of the canvas. The advantage, however, to writing in the canvas is that you can make on-the-fly changes to the text once it finishes. There you go. So you can make on-the-fly changes to the text when it's in the canvas. So that is the advantage to writing in the canvas. However, you can't see each individual iterations. So now, let's go back. Write a 500-word blog post about remote work, best practices for busy parents in a friendly conversational tone. So now, I'll say, instead, write a 500-word blog post. Yep. And let's see what it gives us. So now, as you can see, we can then see the first iteration, and then we can see the second iteration also. It's not overwritten it. So that's just something to be aware of if you're wondering why your prompts are getting overwritten, especially in the format of like a blog post. It will tend to write it in the canvas, which can be a very helpful and useful tool, but also can be a bit annoying. You've hit the free plan limit for ChatGPT 4.0. No, responses will use another model until your limit resets after 5:11 p.m. No problem. So as you could just see with that pop-up there, so there is different models of ChatGPT. Some are useful for different things. When you have a paid version of ChatGPT, you can tend to have unlimited iterations and speak to the machine as much as you want on higher models or models tailored better for specific tasks. So for example, there's models that are more adept at coding, for example, more adept at reasoning, and so on, more adept at research and so forth and so forth. And so that is essentially the beauty of using different large language models. So these all come under the umbrella of ChatGPT, but say for example you used to use a completely different model altogether, different LLM altogether, not part of the ChatGPT infrastructure or architecture, but you used to use Ask Claude or any of one of these different language models, then they are tailored to better answer certain questions or to perform certain tasks. So that is the beauty of using different large language models, but we're going to get further in detail about that. So let's just quickly compare the two answers. So remote work, so now you can see it's given us precisely somewhere close to 500 words. And you can essentially go ahead and tweak this as we like. Remote work, best practice and busy parents, how to stay productive without losing your sanity. So now it's tailored it specifically for busy parents. And so it's a lot more precise. And you can go ahead and continue to tailor your answer. And that's that. So step-by-step guide to iterative prompting. One is essentially the initial prompt. And we've got a little example there, which we'll probably look at as well. The second iteration, you just analyze, see what you like and what you don't like, and just refine your prompt. So again, here's a little example. It says, write a fun, friendly email inviting my team of software developers to a Tech Tacos launch event. Include the dates, the location, and highlight the short tech talks, 10 minutes each, that will take place between bites. We can contrast this with the initial prompt of write an email inviting my co-workers to a Tech and Tacos lunch event. Again, very vague. We now refined it to get something a lot more precise and tailored to what we want. And the beauty of iterative prompting is that you can do this as many times as you need until you get the perfect response of what you're actually looking for. Iteration 3, add constraints and tone. So yeah, second step, add a bit more detail. Third step, add the tone and the constraints, whether that's to keep it to 150 words, whether you want it in a bullet point format, whether you want it in the form of an email, whether you want it in the style of a YouTube video script, whatever format that you're looking for. So revise your previous email to be more casual and include bullet points summarizing event details. Keep it under 150 words total. So this is the beauty of iterative prompting. So follow these guidelines, these steps, so that it makes things just very clear and very structured for you. And yeah, let's walk through this example live. You can do it with me where you are, but let's see if you can do this example. Let me copy this here. Let's have a look. Perfect. So write an email inviting co-workers to a Tech and Tacos lunch event. You're invited Tech and Tacos lunch event. Hi team, I'm excited to invite you all to a Tech and Tacos lunch event. It's a perfect chance to catch up, talk tech, and enjoy some delicious tacos together. Here are the details. Well, it's very kindly allowed us to be able to insert the date, time, and location. We chat about the latest trends in tech, share cool ideas, blah 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 blah. So it's actually not done a bad job with that. And of course, you could just go ahead in the canvas and edit this out. So we're going to revise this prompt simply by pasting this in, and this is going to be our second iteration. So I'm going to say revise, and say edit this email, and write a fun friendly email about my team, blah 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 blah. Alright. See what it gives us. Tech and Tacos lunch. Code, chit chat, and tacos. Hey team, who says we can't mix work and tacos? I'm thrilled to invite you all to a Tech and Tacos lunch event on March 10th at 12 PM in our headquarters cafeteria. It's a laid-back afternoon of delicious tacos and quick tech talks. Here's the plan. Tacos. Enjoy some tasty bites while we chat about all things tech. Tech talks. We'll have short 10-minute tech talks between taco breaks. perfect for sharing cool tips, discussing new tools, or tackling interest in tech problems. It's going to be a fun mix of food and ideas, so feel free to bring any tech topic you're excited about to share. And if you're not into talking, just show up for the tacos and good company. So you can see there, it's changed the tone of the email. It's much more fun. It's cool. It's got the times, the dates, and so forth. Even though I do kind of like this format a little bit better, date, time, location, and so forth. And so you could ask the LLM to revise that for you to make it into that format. And then yeah, iteration 3 is where we could, again, let's say revise your previous email to be more casual, include bullet points to keep it under 150 words total. So let's see what that gives us, shall we? There we go. So that is literally much more straightforward. And so maybe that might be too simple, and you might want something in between the second iteration and the third iteration. Hey team, ready for tacos and tech talks? Join us for fun tech talks on March 10th, 12 PM. Here's what's happening. Tacos to fuel your brain. And so you might say, no, I don't really like that. I quite like the second iteration. So you could say, I like the second iteration better, but I want to be structured using more bullet points and making the time, date, location visible at a glance. If I can spell, it would help, wouldn't it? And let's see what that gives us. There we go. So we've got now the nice little format, the date, the time, location, ready for tacos, tech talks, and so forth. And we might say, the 150 word constraint is maybe making it a little bit too vague. So might say, okay, this is good. Good. But increase the word count to 250 words. And make the email tone more fun. There we go, so it's kept the format. And the tone is a little bit more fun. What's going down? Tacos? Yes, you read that right. Delicious tacos to keep your brain and stomach happy. Quick tech talks, networking. And so we've still got that nice bullet point format, but it's a bit more fun in terms of its tone, and it's a little bit longer together with this little extra paragraph here at the bottom. So yeah, and you might say, okay, yeah, that's the perfect email. And so this took about 4 iterations, and so that's the power of iterative prompting. It's going step by step and working out what you like, what you don't like, and just simply revising it step by step till you get something that you're happy with. And you can also, as I've done, refer to whether the first or second iteration here, and just go at it from that angle. So again, tips for effective iterative prompting. Always start simple. Don't overload your prompt at first. Start with the basics and then see how the AI responds, because you might get a wonderful prompt just off of the bat, and if you start making too many changes at the get-go, it can be very hard to make the necessary changes as you're going along. So just start with a simple draft as to when you're going to make a wonderful painting. You just start with a simple outline, and that's it. Document your changes. Keep track of each iteration. So that's why I was saying about the canvas. Sometimes it might come up in a canvas and it overrides your first iteration, and it can be very hard. You might have something that you liked about the first prompt, but now it's overwritten that, and it might have given you something else that you like, but taken away from the substance of what you liked previously. So that's why it's not always good to write in the canvas. You can simply, if you want to make changes in the canvas, you can simply get your do the iterative prompting in the chat. Once you've got a product that you're happy with, then convert and say, please convert this into the canvas, or simply bring up the canvas by clicking the little icon on the top right to open the canvas, and then you can go ahead and make the changes that way. Be explicit about your format and style. If you want bullet points, state so. Say so. A certain tone or a specified length, say so. AI models respond well to clear structured instructions. And of course, as we've done here in the example, use AI's output as a clue. If the AI misses certain details, it could mean your prompt wasn't clear enough, or you're dealing with an area that the AI simply struggles with, and you need to adjust that accordingly, whether you want to use a different AI LLM, or whether you simply need to edit your prompt. Short feedback loops. Don't iterate a dozen times without checking the results. Evaluate after each iteration and decide if you're moving closer or further away from your desired outcome. Common pitfalls in iterative prompting. Asking for too many changes at once. You don't want to overwhelm the AI model, so only stick to 1 to 2 main adjustments per iteration. Some AI tools let you provide system instructions or ongoing context that leverage that to avoid restating the information every time. Like with ChatGPT, it is a much more advanced LLM, and so it can remember, as we gave an example, what iteration 2 looks like, and so I could reference that instead of having to write the whole thing out again. Forgetting to specify why something didn't work. If you're unclear about what's wrong with an answer, the AI might not know how to fix it. So be very clear, specific in your instructions, and do things one step at a time, and just see and work in that way. Stopping too early. Sometimes 1 or 2 more refinements can turn a good response into a great one. Don't settle prematurely. Never give up. And well, yeah, we've done the Taco's email. And that pretty much concludes it. So key takeaways is just test, refine, repeat. Iterative prompting is the backbone of effective AI communication. Aim for clarity. Keep your instructions clear and explicit. Step-by-step guidance. Guide the AI through progressive refinements, and you will achieve superior results. Don't settle until you get results that truly meet your needs. Iterative prompting is the backbone of effective AI communication. Test, refine, repeat until your results meet your needs. And yeah, that pretty much concludes it for lesson 2. Thank you so much for joining us once again. I'll see you over in lesson 3.